everyone, so today's video is going to be a do's and don'ts video on blending. So the very first thing that you will need is a good base. You can use concealers and or eye primers. I'm just going to put this all over my eye. No discoloration on the eye, everything's going to be one color. Next thing you want to do is you want to set it and use a translucent powder or a pressed powder, and you're just going to want to dust it over the base. Easily see just how much nicer one eye looks versus the other. You want to find something that's going to be closest to your natural eye color or something that's not going to be that much darker. So what we're going to do is take that product and we're going to buff it over the eye. This is a base for the darker eyeshadow. So what you don't want to do, just without primer or any concealer or anything to set a base, the colors is just very untrue. For building the crease, we are going to go in with the two darker shadows that I would recommend using. You're going to want to go in with what is called a blending brush. It's still a little fluffier, but also tighter. You're going to want to also hold your brush upward, actually like straight on into your crease. You're going to want to start on the outer corner, and slowly as you diffuse the product more and more, then you bring it inward. Then you're going to want to go in with the bigger, fluffier brush that we originally used. What you're not going to want to do is packing on the color on a brush. It's already splotchy, and I'm just not building the color evenly. I'm just kind of just going around it with my brush. It doesn't look as clean. The other mistake I see, is wipe away their mess, and they will take their finger and just kind of wipe it away. Don't do that, please. What you want to do is you want to continually build the color pretty. Now, the biggest thing that I always get and the biggest question I get is black. This is very, very difficult to work with, and if you aren't taking your time, it's going to ruin your eye. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a brush that is a lot smaller, a little bit of product. You're going to slowly build the black. I like my black to be the darkest right at the lash line and slowly work the way up. The other thing I like to mention is knowing your brushes and your shadows. I see people using shadows and not knowing how to use the shadows with their brushes. I would go in with this color right here. It's more finely milled. You can take a nice shadow brush. It doesn't have chunky glitter reflexes in it, and it's nice and softly milled. What then I do is I go in with a clean blending brush, and you can just wipe off the one that you have if you can't afford a new one, and you're just going to blend those two colors so everything looks very transitional. And now moving into highlight. Best tool you can use to highlight your inner corner is a pencil brush. It's very detailed and it's going to get right in on that inner corner. What you don't want to do is use a brush that's way too big for you. You run the risk of it going everywhere, so stick with the pencil brush. And then finally, moving into liner. What you don't want to do is take it directly and put it on top of the upper lash line or the lower lash line without blending it out. What happens is it just makes the eye look really heavy and really dark. I prefer a black shadow is taking a small definer brush and lightly pushing it up against your lash line. So that there is my do's and don'ts for blending and how to blend like a pro.